Historic Mount Zion African Methodist Episcopal Church has an interesting history, dating back to the days before the Negroes of the South received their emancipation. It was during those dismal days that a small group of Christians bound together by an unfaltering trust in God and faith in their fellow men decided to form an organization known as a society. Its purpose was for religious worship.
Charles Pierce, who was appointed a presiding elder, was sent down by Richard Allen all through the South. His goal was to start and found the African Methodist Episcopal Church all throughout the South. But before he could even get to Jacksonville, Florida, the historic Mount Zion family was already forming.
They were meeting in houses, really. It started as we call them prayer bands.
Okay.
They started prayer bands meeting in houses, and then they finally formed the church in 1866, but actually it was before that. And when Pierce came through here, he got all those people together. Started in Quincy and worked his way back to Jacksonville. Jacksonville was actually last. You see, those churches up in Quincy and Tallahassee, Madison, and then finally he got back to Jacksonville and started the church.
My grandmother and my aunt, they call themselves the Bush Harbor members, because before the church was built, there was nothing but bushes. And I used to think, I said, well, how in the world could they have a church built like this? And with the little money that they had, they were washing and ironing and doing things like that. And how in the world could they build a church like this? This is such a beautiful church inside.
Bush Harbor is a scenario for a type of church. This wasn't the only Bush Harbor. Apparently they were Bush Harbor. Yeah, apparently they were the early churches. Yeah. The very first ones were called Bush Harbors.
So when historic Mount Zion first officially started meeting, our very own Bush Harbor was located right here in this upper parking lot.
So it says the first meeting we know was Bush Harbor, so that's like the first building. The second frame structure, what was known as a California style. The third structure was a frame building on a Morton style with a seating capacity for between 12 and 1,500 persons. That was the one that was built sometime during the year of 1870. The fourth structure was a brick two-story built under Reverend Welch. It was completed in 1890 with a capacity of 1,500.
Now, at one time, historic Mount Zion was the largest church in Florida, had the largest membership. We had over 1,600 members. Now, that was before the fire. And in those days, too, they had lady elders who were active in the church.
The 1901 fire wasn't the one, it was one burned before that. Yeah, one burned before that, before building 5. It was 2 burned.
From meeting in houses, to a Bush Harbor, to a full structure reduced to ashes by the Great Fire of 1901. Would the historic Mount Zion family ever rise again?